We're here. Happy Monday. Happy day before voting. Make your plans. Vote tomorrow.
I've already voted. I vote by mail. And
Good for
I
you.
send my thing. They say, they get a text, we got your vote. And then a couple of days later, I get a text, your vote has been added and counted. Thank you very much for voting. I love it.
Yeah,
I still
same here.
do you that Steve? I still am a glutton for punishment and want to go down to the polling place and I'm gonna slog through the rain tomorrow. I don't
You're
know.
gonna stand in the little cardboard booth and
Yep. Although
Yeah.
the place that we have now, they're all the big electronic ones now. So it's not the paper, it's the big electronic machines now. So
oh,
You just step in and it reads your mind.
kind of, yeah.
The latest technology.
Kind of, yeah. So yep, but I have my thing all filled out with who so I could just go in and like quickly do it. But you never know, at the last minute I might just change my mind. Somebody might sway me.
gosh, I can't believe. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I said unlikely.
Unlikely. You know which one's kind of that messed me up is the whole judges thing. I had to read
my
up on the judges thing.
There's so many of them.
But
Well,
half of them are
and-
in place already. They're all in place.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I read about it because I thought it used to be that you voted for like who you wanted to be judge, and it used to, but now it's like yes or no.
Yeah,
You're already there. So I had, because I was like, that seemed like it was new. So what it is that if you vote yes, they get to keep their term and serve another term. If you vote no, they get to finish out their term, then they are gone, and then Newsom
Appoint
appoint
somebody.
So
We have that power?
I know, I didn't know that.
Because we were going back and forth about what the heck? Because I know that there are appointees,
Right,
but I've always been used, there's some that we vote for.
correct.
So
now you get to-
these look
yeah.
like they were all, I was doing my research and I'm like, oh, let me check out the Latino who was appointed by Dugmagian. That was a long time
Long
ago.
time ago.
yeah.
And that guy's been there a long time.
Yeah.
So I let him keep the seat.
Did you?
Generously.
You're a good guy.
I did too, Gabe. Yeah, I mean, he's like 84 years old, so
Keep
No,
going,
this guy's
brother.
not.
Keep going.
I am an ageist now. Now I think if one thing our Feinstein has shown me is that there's got to be a cap, and let's just.
I agree.
You can't be like Grassley. You can't be like 98.
Oh God, like they've got oxygen. They've got like somebody like propping him up.
I mean, Grassley was born like during Jim Crow, for goodness sakes, you know.
Or, yeah.
right.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with that. All right, we don't know. Enough politics. We got books to
We're
sell.
good people. I'm not even involved in politics.
We're hawking books today.
Talk
So,
about-
bro, light them up. So I think we got some good stuff coming. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to talk about. And Gabe, I sent you an email. I'm hoping I can get a galley of that. Marvelous. I
Yes,
said
I'm
that.
waiting on those still.
Okay. All right.
What's that?
Great package.
Okay, so I hosted Rachel McMillan, which is my new favorite. I mean, not my new favorite. She's hosted a bunch of events for us. I love her, but she always has these like wish lists of authors that she wants. And so last week we hosted her with oh my God. It was your book, Gabe. Janelle Seletsky, or however you say her name. I can't say
The
her name.
Brilliance of Stars.
Brilliance of Stars, which was really a good discussion with Amy Runyon. But Rachel couldn't, I think it was Rachel couldn't stop talking about Marvelous. So I was like, okay, I got to get it. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
Like what the not a retelling, but like what the origin story is behind it. So, all right, Amanda, you're going to go last. It's going to go Steve and Gabe. So Steve, take it away. Oh, there it is. Wait,
Gabe,
before you go. That's it.
Go, Gabe.
That's it. That's what we're gonna look at. That cover. Did you see that cover?
Great cover.
Oh,
Awesome.
you want to talk about that now? since you
No,
have it up
that's
there?
just that's like coming to like April or May of next year.
Oh,
It's
I see.
yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to, yeah.
Well, I'll start out with the new book by Cormac McCarthy. It came out, I think, two Tuesdays ago.
I think so.
And first book from him for many years. And it's part one of a two books that sort of fit together. The other one's called Stella Maris. This is The Passenger. Stella Maris comes out at the beginning of December, and it's part of there'll also be a box set that comes out at the beginning of December. So if there's somebody in your life who is a major Cormac McCarthy fan, that would be an incredible gift to get for them, those two books together. The Passenger is, now I'll be honest, I have not read The Passenger. I've never been a big Cormac McCarthy reader, so there's my confession out of the way. So I'm mostly going on what other people have told me and the reviews have been fantastic. People in the business, other booksellers who do or who are loyal Cormac fans say it lives up to all his other works. So I won't get into the plot or anything, but it's got all his beautiful language, no punctuation or no quotation marks, all that kind of stuff that are he's known for. Deep dives into many subjects, and I guess that's about it. I mean, one of the big fiction books of the season, and that's The Passenger.
Okay, so the box set, is the box set just going to be the two, or will there be other Cormac McCarthy things in the
Just
box
those
set?
two. It's
Just
those
those two.
two. It'll be in a beautiful box set that yeah.
But you gotta wait for the second book
Yeah.
You have to
Gotta
wait
wait
for
till
the
December.
second book to
in December.
in
Yep.
December, early December.
Perfect.
You're a
Damn
big
you,
fan.
damn you,
Yeah,
Knopf.
yeah.
So Steve, for you, because I believe Shrines of Gaiety is your book, and I think you
It
talked
is.
about it a few weeks ago. So both Kim and Beth, who are on here, loved that book. So
Oh, I'm
they're-
so glad.
Yeah.
I really love that book too. So
yeah, we've got lots of booksellers at the store that love it too. So I think it's going to be one of those that just is going to keep going and going.
okay, I hope we can keep it in stock because inventory was low the last time I checked. So
I will let Mallory know that, because I think it's
Okay.
going to be one that's going to go on the holidays. I'll tell her to beef that one up, because I think that's going to be a good general just holiday.
yeah, that would be great.
And for you, Gabe, they both loved Demon Copperhead too. So that's
It's Barbara's best book in a while, but she really pulled out all the stops here.
If anybody hasn't seen, and I don't know if we have it anywhere that I can share it, but we could share it on here maybe. The conversation that she had that we were able to sell tickets into, Gabe, was so good. I mean, it was such a good conversation. So if anybody's watching, I think Amanda maybe be able to get it off of. No, well, we might have I don't think I put it on our YouTube page because I didn't think I had a recording of it, but I had the link. Anyways, we'll try and find the link and figure out somewhere to put it.
Yeah.
But her whole description of how she actually stayed at Bleak House, and how she came to the, like, how David Copperfield just kind of like came to her when she was
Right.
staying at Bleak House. I mean, it was really good. It was really good. It was really something. So love it.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's not on our YouTube, Beth. I think because it was one that Harper ran the tech on it. So I don't think I've gotten a link. Go ahead, Amanda.
I just put the book passage link into the comments.
That's it. There's
Yeah.
on Book Passage. That's right. Book Passage TV. Okay, there we go. Okay, Gabe, go.
All right, I'm coming. I have a lot of books. I was tempted to be like, I was
You
gonna
can
have
go
like,
with more than 3. I think we're gonna
Well,
have
I
time today.
settled for 3. I didn't want to
Okay.
submarine Steve. So I'm sure Steve could pull something.
Oh,
if
Kevin
he had to.
Wilson.
But the new
It's
Kevin
cool,
Wilson.
Gabe. It's cool.
Thank you, bro. And now is not the time to panic. And this is Kevin Wilson's 4th novel. Nothing to See Here was his previous novel, which was a major book club pick. But it sold really, really well before that. He started off with the Family Fang. Many years ago, a really quirky, dark comedic novel. Then he wrote Perfect Little World, which was a really strong novel, and then Nothing to See Here with a story collection in between. And Nothing to See Here just got so much great attention. The premise is so odd, and yet he pulls it off. You just you suspend your disbelief and you go along for the ride. And Now is not the time to panic is an interesting novel of our times. It is two young kids, high schoolers. 16-year-old Frankie Budge is a wannabe writer, and she's in high school, and she's an offbeat loner, doesn't have a lot of friends, and you know how you are, book geek with your book in your backpack, eating lunch alone, getting too close to home. And but one summer she meets this young boy Zeke, who's also an artist. He's a musician, and together they have a little romantic liaison, and together they create this poster, and the poster says, "The Edge is a shanty town filled with gold seekers. We are fugitives, and the law is skinny with hunger for us." So these
Such a great
posters
line.
started popping up everywhere. People wonder who wrote them. People start to panic. Is it Satanists? Is it kidnappers? There have to be repercussions. So, people get vigilante-ish about it. They're trying to track down who created these posters because they're obviously an evil influence. And the time passes, and Kevin sets this up, and then 20 years later, Frances Budge gets a call that threatens her carefully built life from a journalist. She gets a call from a journalist who's writing a story about the Coalfield Panic of 1996, and things start sort of spinning again. So Kevin he's not your average writer. So when you read a Kevin Wilson book, it's never going to be such a, Joe walked in the door and then he lit a cigarette, and it's full of, I don't really want to say antics. He creates these characters, and he creates this world in the same way that John Irving in the old days created that world. There's an atmosphere to those John Irving novels, Hotel New Hampshire and Setting Free the Bears and The Water Method Man and Garp. He creates these interesting characters, and he populates this world with them. That's also an interesting world. And you get immersed in them. And that's what Kevin Wilson does. And he's so much fun. And you're going to laugh, and you're going to enjoy the read. And it's going to be something just a little bit different to get your head moving in a little different way. So Ken, he's one of our stars, really grassroots, organic, started building every book has been better than the last. And I've gotten really great reads from my book buyers on this particular novel. So we're very excited to have the new Kevin Wilson. And we'll be excited to have the next Kevin Wilson.
He's so good. He's so
So
good. That line. Well, when you read the intro, I don't know if he put it in the intro or whether it was just in the galley about how he came up with this is a story about his friend, a friendship that he had. But that line is just so fantastic. And what is it? Something's hungry.
Skinny
for
with
us.
hunger.
Skinny with hunger. And the law is skinny with hunger for us. It's so good. I love it. So yeah, that one. And if you haven't read, what's the
Nothing
one?
to see here.
Nothing to see here.
It's available on paperback.
It's so good.
So
It's
good.
just so good. It's just one of those. And if you listen to it on Libro.fm, it's even better because it's just the girl who does the narration. I just was remember driving, just like going, what the, and laughing. It's so good. All right.
So good.
Okay, Amanda, you going? You got something to talk about today?
Sorry, I was trying to find that link for Libro. Okay, I'm talking about a book from Biblioasis called Case Study. Graham McRae Burnett. This was actually longlisted for the Man Booker Prize. And it is a book, if any of you read Mrs. March, which was another one I love, this is a good book for you. The story is that this young woman in London in the 60s becomes convinced that this charismatic psychotherapist guy caused her sister to commit suicide. So she sort of decides to invent a persona and go undercover and become his patient to suss out what she's sure is the truth about his part in her sister's death. And it plays with identity and storytelling, and it's a mystery, and it's really darkly funny and very weird and creepy. And I think it's a really good read for this time of year when the weather's starting to get a little strange. And it's also a family story, but I highly recommend this book, Case Study.
Okay, you're cracking me up. You're like, it's weird, it's creepy, but
Families.
it's a family story.
I mean, it's about family.
Families
things
are
get-
weird and families
Things
are
get
weird
really
and
weird
creepy.
around the holidays, man. Everything
Oh,
sort of comes
yeah.
to a head, and
Oh yeah. He brings
Yeah.
out the best and the worst in people.
thank goodness.
Throw a family together, give them a few drinks, and watch the fireworks.
It's
Oh,
Halloween.
Amanda-
Oh, Amanda
In the
froze in a
holidays.
great
Amanda froze.
pose.
We had a
love it.
froze. There, you're now you're back.
Ah! Yeah. Anyway, yeah. At least there's pie during the holidays.
I love it. So Beth actually listened to Libro, to the Kevin Wilson on Libro too. That's really good, Beth. That's really good. All right, Steve Atinsky,
Beth.
you're next.
I'm gonna have to download that Kevin Wilson because that sounds just.
It's a great. It's
Never read him.
okay.
and
He's really somebody who's very like I said, he just creates this world and this atmosphere and these characters, and it's unlike anything else and unlike other authors. It's really great.
Steve, I don't know if you listen to Libro like when you're on a walk or something. It's great. It is super. It just like keeps you going. It's really good. All right,
Okay, I'm sold.
there you go.
Next up for me is this fellow wrote a book, Bono. It's called
What's he done
Surrender.
lately?
Came out. What's that?
What's he done lately?
Written a book.
He wrote this book. That's what he's done. So it's everything from everything about his life, from growing up, in Ireland, and the troubles, the band, forming the band, his work for World AIDS and other political causes. It's got everything in it that any fan of Bono would be interested in. He's a really good writer. I know sometimes saying he wrote it all himself, sounds like a backhanded compliment, and maybe it is, but he really did. He one reviewer said, if he hadn't been a singer, he could write. He can really write. He could be a writer. He's so good. And so I've read just a few passages, and for some reason I opened right to I said, I'll just open it up and see what comes up. And it was with him working with Condoleezza Rice, on AIDS, and that was very interesting. Him reaching across the political spectrum to work with someone with the Bush administration to make
Right.
this, and they made it happen, or made something happen. And so that's the kind of person he is. And plenty about the band in there too, and all of that. So it came out last week, Bono's memoir, Surrender.
Who?
I've read
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I've read some stories about him that kind of make me cringe. But so when I saw in the New York Times this Sunday that they interviewed him for the By the Book.
Oh,
section,
good, yes.
He
That up.
he actually sounds really charming and erudite, and so it does make me want to dip into the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of us in the 80s would make everybody cringe. Just saying.
Well, it was
Very
more
good
recent
point.
stuff.
I'm just saying. But I think probably because of what if he was trying to reach across the divide. But so I have a really quick story about my parents. So they were traveling somewhere. I don't know where they were traveling. And it was when the band was first hitting, so they were in the same hotel with them, and the guys were in the lobby. So my parents are they're from a generation of Andy Williams and
Very Como.
yeah, I mean Nat King Cole. So they're just they were not the rock type of parents by any means. So they tell us they either called us or they wrote us. They called us somehow. And they're like, we're in the hotel with this band, Tutu. And we're going, Tutu? What the hell are you talking about, Tutu? It's you two. out what the hell they were talking about. Cause I guess they like sat right with them at dinner and were talking. Oh, they're very nice young men. It was a really, it was just like, oh my God.
Those Tutu boys are
Those
so
two
nice.
boys are just charming. I'll never forget that. My sister like, who the hell is Tutu? What are they talking about? Oh my God. All right. Okay, Gabe, rescue me.
You know, I would reach out a hand to you, but I might slip and get pulled in.
You never know with me.
No knight in shining armor here. So the next book is that I want to talk about is We All Want Impossible Things by Catherine Newman. And this is just one of those lovely little beautifully written books about a friendship. It's a 42-year-old long friendship. It is two women who have grown up together, Edith and Ashley. They shared everything, you know. They had their first drink together. They'd go to REM concerts. They'd watch Gilligan's Island reruns together. They'd attend weddings and wakes together as their life progressed. And now Edith is dying of cancer, and it's the last few bits of days. And it's one of these novels. I put this quote: "We all want impossible things." Is a riotously funny and fiercely loyal love letter to female friendship. The story of Edie and Ash proves that a best friend is a gift from the gods. Newman turns her prodigious talents towards finding joy, even in the friendship's final days. I laughed while crying and was left revived. Newman is a comic masterhand and a dazzling philosopher of the day. Today, I thought that quote best encompassed. She had some bigger names blurb her. I just thought this quote here really encompassed what the book is about. It will move you. It's a really, really well, like I said, well written, well told, well narrated, not too fat. It's like 240 pages, 230 pages. She creates, you are with these two women all the way through, and you feel everything. It's like you're like a raw nerve. She's also a very funny writer. So it's not one of those books that you're going to be like, oh my God. But maybe Cry Talk or Book Talk or somebody will pick it up.
Cry Talk.
Books that you want to cry with. But it's just lovely. I think she's Scottish, but I read this and I just kept reading and kept reading and kept reading. I was just completely enchanted by the voice and this telling. And I don't know who's going to notice it, you know, in the States. So I just want to make sure as many people as I can touch on this book, get a look at it, because it's just I just thought it was a terrific friendship story.
I've been seeing something on it. I mean, it's hitting out there somewhere, because this is not the first time I've seen it. So there's some buzz going on around it out there.
Crossing my fingers.
Yep.
Deserved, well deserved. It's one of those little books that could get lost, and it really deserves to get looked at.
Love it. Okay, Amanda, what do you got for us next?
This came out recently. It's the newest Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, 100 Inspiring Young Change Makers. And it's a hardcover edition. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's these great stories about modern badass women, young women. And I just think, I don't know, there have been a lot of these books, but I don't think you can ever have too many of these books. The art is really beautiful. The stories are great. They've got QR codes for each person to, you know, get more information, do more research, be more inspired. I think this is one of Andrea's books. Yeah, I don't know. I love these books so much. So if you know any young women in your life, this is a great gift. I think it's probably for the age group like 8 to 12. But I think, you know, with depending on how you storytell to younger people, it could work for that too. It'd be something they could admire the photography and get your encapsulated versions of the stories and kind of grow into. And any of these books are awesome. So good night stories for rebel girls.
Seems like it would be a good gifty book for the holidays for somebody.
For sure, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
like that. That's a good one. All right, we're just blazing through here. So lightning round or thereabouts, kind of a lightning round. So you're on mute, Steve. So you want to unmute yourself?
Thank you. It could be a little longer.
A little
lightning
longer lightning round.
round. All right. Well, I've got another gift book to finish up with, and it's from Ken Burns. Am I getting out there? Yeah, it's
Yep.
called Our America, and it's a photographic history of the country, and it is it's all black and white, every picture, and it really encompasses all of Americans, all kinds of Americans, all classes of Americans, all race of American, their story. And I'll just hold up a few of the photos because I think they're really some remarkable ones. If this will show up, here's me showing up here. This is one.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, isn't this beautiful? And what
Yeah.
have I got here? Here's another one. Who is that? I don't even know who that is.
looks like the
So-
Robertson Davies author
Yeah,
photo.
it does,
from back
doesn't
in the
it?
day.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? Oh, I love this. It's almost like out of what's the Andrew Wyeth painting?
Yeah, Christina's
almost
World,
a bit like that.
or one of those
That's
things.
gorgeous. Here's something's going on here. Charging with flags. Uh-oh, that's trouble. A little barn revival going on somewhere, probably in the Midwest or South.
wow.
What
Ken
else?
Burns is amazing.
Amazing.
What's his
What?
new documentary that's out right now?
The new one is
The Holocaust was the last one he did.
yeah, America and the Holocaust, which was
Okay.
incredible. And oh, I wanted to show you this one that I think this is amazing. This is right after FDR died in Warm Springs.
Oh,
It's an incredible photo.
wow.
And in the back of the book, he wanted the photos just to speak for themselves, on the page. And then in the back, there's, what part of history each photo is from and its meaning, and the photographer, the credit for the photographer and all that. So it's a great book of history. There's no companion series for this book. It's a $75 hardcover, but I think a lovely gift for the holidays.
That was a great gift for the holidays because he's a master at putting things together. He really is.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Gabe.
You cannot go wrong with Ken Burns.
Nope.
Or Bono. So I've been wanting to talk about this book for a long time, and I'm just almost like I want to get some feedback from somebody else besides me, because so like Steve saw me present this before. I mean, like, I read a lot of books in my life. I've read a lot of books, and I have read a lot of books where, that are so good that I want to come. I just can't wait to get back home and read it, or get up in the morning and read it. If I can't sleep at night, can't wait I'm going to read my book. I have never had my brain pleasure spots. I don't know what it was about this book. Honest to God, it's a simple narrative. The Pirate's Wife, the remarkable true story of Sarah Kidd, who was Captain Kidd's wife, lived in, I think it was like Massachusetts, New York. And he's off doing piratical things in the South Pacific, in the Caribbean. And she is keeping down, keeping the home fires burning. She's holding down the home, raising the kid, keeping the home together, and that's pretty much it. He comes in and out, and occasionally, but mostly he's gone. And then he's, in the old days, you were flying under the British. You were a privateer, so you were flying under the British flag. for Mother England. But apparently, at some point, Captain Kidd might have slipped out the flag and gone out on his own and actually pirated it instead of being under the whatever of the British Empire. He sort of went rogue, and then he was in trouble. So who was his staunchest ally? His wife, Sarah Kidd, who's working behind the scenes while he's being demonized and vilified. And that's the story, that's it. And I cannot tell you why I could not wait to read this book and continue reading this book. And when it finished, I was like, man, I want more. Daphne Giannakopoulos did an amazing job. I was talking about this. We have these meetings every year, 3 times a year when we go out with our lists and we have conversations. And I was going off like I am now about this book at the meeting because it looks like something that somebody paid very little money for, and we're going to print 20,000, and it's kind of a quirky thing, but it's a pretty aggressive print run, which is at a 50,000 for us. So it's a pretty aggressive print run. And the editor was like, that's the way I felt too when he read it. And he sent me a note while I was talking. That's exactly how I felt, because there's something consumable as hell about this book. And again, I would like to get some feedback if I'm out of my mind. Granted, I love all things pirate and Viking. Saturdays, the swashbuckling Saturdays at my house. That's when we watch Zorro movies and stuff. So I do like me a swashbuckler and a kind of a sucker for that. But there's not a sword fight in here. This is not that. This is watching the daily as she's weighing out the fish and stuff. So check it out. It's small, real readable, and one of my absolute faves for some reason.
So it's nonfiction, obviously, but it's so when you say it's small, it's like 300 pages, 250.
I don't think it's even 300.
Okay. Okay.
It's 288. So it's
288. Okay. But that's
Yeah,
a very
600,000
consumable. Because sometimes history books are like 500 pages and you're like, okay.
Yeah, no, this is a substantial read, and like again, it's so readable
I love it.
and
All
fun.
right.
Like the Real Housewives Pirate Edition.
You know what? Not as cheesy. If you can imagine the pirates not being as bad as the housewives.
You got a last one, Amanda?
Yep.
Take us home, girl.
Here we go again. Everyone's heard me talk about this already. But pow! Cloud Cuckoo Land is out in paperback, and we are going to be partnering with University of San Diego next year in February to bring Anthony Doerr back to San Diego. This book is so freaking brilliant. It's one of those books I finished reading it at like 3 a.m. and just like stared at it like it was some.
It's euphoric. When you finish it, it's a euphoric feeling when you finish that book.
It's like a piece of alien technology. Like it's a perfect, I don't even know how he did it. Perfect book. It's a story of a book. And this book is at the center of intertwined lives through time and history. And it's just brilliant. So if you're thinking about going to an author event next year, early in the year, absolutely consider coming to see Anthony Doerr. He is so good, such a great speaker, and talks about his process, and it's just so fascinating. And he's a Pulitzer Prize winner, so come on down.
Yeah, anywhere you're at, if you have a chance to see Anthony Doerr, I know we have people who live across if he's coming anywhere in your vicinity, go see him. He is just one of those authors that it's an amazing experience to see him talk in person. So love him. So I'll talk real quickly about what I'm doing. I'm in a little bit of a reading slump. I just not that I'm not reading, not that what I'm reading isn't good. I just haven't I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. But
blame it on daylight savings.
Blame it on something here. So happening live this week, John Ross Bowie. I think I talked about him last week from Big Bang Theory. Gina Davis on Saturday down at the Hotel Del. And then at the end of the month, we got Andrew Morton, who's going to come talk about the Queen at USC. Can't wait for that one too. But we got some good virtual stuff happening. So Lauren Graham from, oh my God, I knew I was going to blank on it. Gilmore Girls. So if you want to see her, Anthony Horowitz,
Anthony Horowitz.
yay, everybody loves him. This one's got free access. So if you're a fan and you want to see it, we all love you to buy the book. But if you don't want to do that right now, you can see him. So we've got some good stuff coming. So we're kind of gearing down for the holidays, going to get ready just to sell some books in the store. So I think we're good. I think it's another good week of releases.
A lot of good books.
A lot of good books. I was walking
of
through the store the other day and it was just like, there's just not enough time. There's not enough time. There's so many good things out there right now. So, and I thank you all for reading all of the books that the reps here recommend, because I know that that's really fun for everybody when everybody, we can't wait for Anthony's new book too, Beth. So he's always a good one for us to, everybody loves that series. I guess it's a series, isn't it? The one that
Yeah.
Anthony's doing. Yeah. So Steve, Gabe, thanks for coming in today. Amanda, thanks for your picks. We'll see everybody next week. Bye.